Yeah, so good morning everyone. Welcome to session number 3, and today we are going to discuss about the week 0 activities. So hello and welcome to week 0. This the main topic in week 0 is about the entrepreneurial lifestyle. So let's begin. Now we are sure that you are excited to get your idea off the ground, maybe even a little nervous, and there is a plenty of activities lined up for you all. So before we dive into the details though, let's take a look at what entrepreneurship means. So in this section, we will talk about, entrepreneurial lifestyle, what makes a successful entrepreneur, what's your vision for yourself, both personally and professionally. So looking ahead, let's talk about entrepreneurship. So, becoming an entrepreneur means more than just starting a business, right? It's a way of thinking, it's a mindset actually. And entrepreneurship will mean something different to everyone. For some, it's about a chance to change the world. For some, it's a need to be my own boss. For some, it's an opportunity to create wealth. For some, it's a desire to leave a legacy. And for some, it's a personal desire to, make the world a better place. So ask yourself, how would you finish this sentence? I want to be an entrepreneur because. So some of you can answer this either by unmuting or by typing in the chat box. I want to be an entrepreneur because. So you can write your views or you can speak. So you need to ask this question to yourself. I want to become an entrepreneur because. Okay, very good. Few of y'all are responding for financial freedom. Yes, definitely. What else? Why you want to become an entrepreneur? I want to become an entrepreneur because. Complete this sentence. Yeah, come on. Few more answers, please. Solving problems is fun. Yeah, that's one way of saying things. Yes, definitely. Correct. It's fun to solve problems. Yeah. So you complete this question on your own, right? And you can have a piece of paper and keep on answering them. I want to become an entrepreneur because. So everyone will have their own version. Desire to change things. Very well said. Now let's move ahead. Yes, to create innovative solutions to problems. Yes, very well put forward. Now, so why is entrepreneurship a part you want to take? Being our own inspirational leader, yes, that's one of the reasons. Very good. We are coming to the next question. Why is entrepreneurship a part you want to take? You know, uh, do you take a minute and ask yourself this question? To really ask yourself, while it might be tempting to go full steam ahead and get your idea launched in the world, it's also very important to have a clear idea about why you are on this journey. Correct? So you should be very careful. It's important to have a clear idea about why you are in this journey, on this journey. So let's start with week 0, that is entrepreneurial lifestyle. This will help you to really think through your reasons for becoming an entrepreneur. Okay, so without further delay, let's get started. So first topic will be, we have to ask when taking a leap to become an entrepreneur, you will probably find yourself wondering about two big things. What are those big things? First question will be, is my idea great enough? Or do I have enough experience to become an entrepreneur? So this is the first two questions which will come to your mind. Is my idea great enough? And do I have enough experience to become an entrepreneur? So in this course, you will be learning how to evaluate and refine your ideas. And we will also help you to build up on your experience you need to get your idea off the ground. Okay. So while you're hopefully excited to take the leap and become an entrepreneur, we know that it can be, it can also be a nerve wracking to think about these questions when starting out at the very start. So here's some inspirational video which I wish to play.
The conventional view of why people become entrepreneurs is typically dead wrong. A lot of folks think that people become entrepreneurs because they want to make money. And you know what? If you look at studies of entrepreneurs, that's rarely the case. There are three big drivers that lead people to go out on their own as entrepreneurs. One of them is they see something out there that's wrong, that's broken, there's a problem, and they know how to fix it. And you know what? They know how to fix it better than anybody else. And it's a little bit irritating that no one's bothered to fix it yet. The second thing is a sense of autonomy, a sense of having some control over what you do in your life. And the other one is actually quite interesting. I think that there's a degree of authenticity that entrepreneurs want. When you're working for a large institution, you sometimes have to kind of check who you are at the door to conform to what's going on inside. When you're running your own operation, the company can be a reflection of your values, of your personality, of who you are as a human being. And I think all those forces, which have very little to do with money, are what really drive entrepreneurs. And I think where people get confused is that they see some entrepreneurs make money and they think because that entrepreneur made money, that's what she was trying to do in the first place, when in fact, it's actually a consequence of a sense of autonomy, a sense of having a problem that you want to fix, and a desire to be authentically who you are. Entrepreneurs see something that needs to get done, a problem that must be solved, a product that must be offered, a service that must be delivered, and they feel so deeply about the need to deliver that they're willing to bicycle into the headwinds in the face of all this opposition, in the face of all these naysayers. And I happen to think that as citizens, we should be actually quite thankful that they're willing to do that.
So the next question comes is my idea great enough? Remember, successful entrepreneurs turn feasible ideas into profitable business. And you don't do that right from, without any thinking about or being passionate about being what you are doing. So it's very, very important. And so you should think about these questions. What do I need to start a business? So what's the answer? Simple answer to the question. You will need a product or your service that someone is willing to pay you for. Correct? How many customers do I need for the product or the service? Well, this depends on your goals. But to get started, your product or your service should meet the needs of your group in your community or your local market or some other target market you have in mind. So you should ask yourself, am I counting on a fantastic idea or a feasible one? Okay. Some of you come with a very fantastic idea. It will be, workable. It will be solving many problems of a larger group, or you have a feasible one. I mean, which is really practical. And right now it is not being so, popular, but later on, when people start using it, maybe it will become really big. So you should be asking yourself this question. Then the next question is, do I have an idea for something that will meet a customer need or it will involve significant savings? So this is another question which you should ask yourself to evaluate, where you are heading to. Next, will customers will be paying for it? Okay, so whenever you come up with an idea, you jot it down in your book or your scratch pad and you ask yourself, will customers be willing to pay for my idea, or for my service, or for my product which I'm building? So if you ask these questions, you will, get the right direction in which you are heading to. Then I want to point out, remember that some of the today's most successful companies started small. Let's take example of Facebook. Facebook began as a way for Harvard students to connect with one another. That's the starting point. Before expanding to reach students at their other colleges, and eventually it incorporated non-students, and now Facebook is used by all ages across the world. Okay, so that's a simple example. You start with very small thing, and then you build up on that, and then it reaches and expands like anything. So what is the first thing I should do if I have a startup idea? So the first thing I should do is sort out the idea. I should write it down. Okay, you will have literally hundreds of business ideas you write down in your notebooks, and you talk to a lot of people about it. Now there is a misconception that if I discuss my idea with someone else, he will steal my idea. It's nothing like that. It's all about execution. Now there are plenty of services or products which are similar. It's a way of executing them it what makes a difference. Okay, so the more people you talk to, they will tell you whether it's really gonna useful, or they can give you some useful insight, or you can even find your team member in one of those people, which will give you point you in the right direction. So you don't answer yourself all the right, you don't have yourself all the right answers. So speaking to people, talking to people, discussing your ideas will them might give you they might give you the right answers for the questions you might have. So next question is, do I have enough experience to be an entrepreneur? Well, in fact, inexperience can be of own advantage. It can help you avoid tying you down to the way it's always been done. You can apply your energy, enthusiasm to learn about a new field, its trade practices, its techniques, and you can also leverage other talents, developing partnerships, or asking people with different area of expertise to work with you. Okay, however, also extremely important to exercise self-awareness around the ideas where you know that you lack experience. You should be aware, self-aware, that you have to work on your skill gaps in advance, which will help you to build an effective venture or organization later. So you should ask these questions to yourself. Am I building on my experience? And if I'm stepping into a new territory, what additional information do I need to be successful? As an entrepreneur, you not only think about being successful, but you learn about the things which you are never come across. So you get out of your comfort zone. Every day in and day out, you get out of your comfort zone and you do things which you have never done before. That's the life of entrepreneur. Yeah. So next is the characteristics of an entrepreneur. So another question is you may be asking yourself is whether you have the right characteristics for becoming an entrepreneur. While there is no specific set of characteristics possessed by all entrepreneurs, many of them share a common traits and skill. Okay. So take a moment to think about the characteristics you see in entrepreneurs you admire. What words come to your mind when you think about such entrepreneurs? So a possible few responses I'll expect. So think about entrepreneurs you desire and what words come to your mind when you think of such entrepreneurs, which will define them, which you get inspired by them. What qualities or what characteristics which you think they have or they possess. So describe them by one word. That's why you desire to be like them. Curiosity, very well. Point taken. Yes, curiosity. Never stop learning. Yes. Determination. Well said. understanding how things work. Yes, that's the core part of being an entrepreneur. Yes. What else? Don't get affected by someone. Perseverance. Yes, these are the qualities. So keep it coming. You can keep on typing in the chat box whatever words come to your mind when you think of such entrepreneurs which you admire. Fine. Yeah, passion. Yes, passionate. Entrepreneurs should be passionate. Very well. So actually, in fact, that is the next point which we are going to discuss. What makes an entrepreneur? Okay, what is the hard and core material? Yeah, accepting failures. Very well point put across. Yeah, what makes an hardcore entrepreneur? You become entrepreneurs are born. No, entrepreneurs can be taught. It can be they learn and they drive. They have that innate passion. They are passionate about what they are doing. So first point is desire and passion, right? In order to exhibit the persistence necessary to drive a business through difficult times, you need to be passionate about what you are doing. Certainly, in the early stages of your enterprise, you will work very hard for very less money than you have ever have in your life. So without the passion and belief around you, around your chosen enterprise, you may question your own dedication to your cause. Okay. If you're working towards an venture idea and you're not feeling so passionate about it, then it's not the right thing which you're going to. So your passion and your desire to continue and believing in yourself is what makes you entrepreneur. The next, ability to thrive on uncertainty. Entrepreneurs exist and prosper in an environment that can often be confusing and chaotic. Next is determination and resiliency. So entrepreneurs don't quit easily. When things look hopeless, they perceive, and sometimes they make adjustments to the ideas. Okay, but they don't give up. Whatever it takes to make sure that their ideas doesn't fail. Okay, so they are extremely resilient and determined. Next is accountability. Entrepreneurs are the first one to to be responsible. They feel responsible for your success as well as their failures. So they accept that they are responsible for their own success and failures. Then the next quality is the self confidence. Entrepreneurs believe that they can solve any problem that comes their way. So that's what makes an entrepreneur. Next, they value the bottom line. So, not all entrepreneurs have the inherent ability to control cost or inventory or cash or the other assets, but they do understand that controlling these factors is a crucial for a business to succeed. So, when necessary, entrepreneurs rely on the expertise of their team members to deal with such expenses. Okay, so they believe in their team. Next is the problem solving. Entrepreneurs are quick problem solvers. They don't need the perfect solution in order to get started, but they look at the problem from different perspective in order to find the creative solutions. In order to solve a particular problem, you may find one solution, but they try for different solutions. They look from different angles. They look from the customer's perspective. They look from the buyer's perspective, and then they think about it, and then they find the many solutions to a problem, right? And they find the most creative way to solve the problem. Actually, that what distinguishes entrepreneurs. Then networking, right? Entrepreneurs need to build strategic relationships. So it's all about talking to people. At the end of 6 months journey being an entrepreneur, you will have a huge network base. If you don't have, you have to contact your customers. So there are many people who can be your potential customers. Then the market awareness. Entrepreneurs follow the market trends and seizes the opportunity everywhere. Okay, including the ones that others miss. Where others don't find an opportunity, they will find an opportunity and make it something out of it. So being unconventional is one of the main assets of an entrepreneur. Then the business knowledge. Entrepreneurs don't always have the general understanding of the business management that's necessary to succeed. Where they lack expertise or experience, entrepreneurs seek advice from mentors. They don't hesitate to ask for help. or other business professional to assess them. So if they don't have the right knowledge, they will talk to people who have them, or they hire the people who have them. So this is all what makes an entrepreneur. Now, a small video explaining what is life like for an entrepreneur.
Life as an entrepreneur is very dynamic. Never is a day dull. It's always changing. You're trying to take air and turn it into reality. You're looking for that product market fit and trying to figure out what the customer wants, how you can make the best possible product and get that feedback. It's really wild because you have to wear all the different hats, whether it's finance or marketing or customer focus. You need to be thinking about engineering. You need to be thinking about your finances. You need to be thinking about where you're going to sit, where your office is going to be, getting internet. Everything is relying on you and your teammates.
So we will start with week 0 activities, right? So in week 0 activities, we will have 5 activities over here. Activity number 1 will be entrepreneurship style quiz. Second activity will be your entrepreneurial characteristics. Third will be lifestyle goals. Fourth activity will be professional goals. And the fifth activity will be personal vision statement. So let's jump in to activity number 1, entrepreneurial style quiz. So I will be just showing you all that brief handout for that. So you can take up this activity. I think you should take up this activity. You read about it. Okay, your background, read about every activity brief, instructions. Week 0 activities are individual activities. Okay, so you don't have to form a team. It will hardly take you 5 minutes to record your style. So you have to answer few questions. There are around 10 questions over here. Whatever is closest related to you, you should answer them. Okay, so this is about the entrepreneurial style quiz. Y'all can take up this activity. There are around total 10 questions. So y'all can have a look at it in details. Okay, and complete this activity. Now comes the activity number 2, your entrepreneurial characteristics. So let's talk about a bit of it. So determining your personal vision. So entrepreneurs can change their lifestyle dramatically. Their lifestyle changes dramatically once they have opted, think about that. Yes, I want to start up a venture. I want to become an entrepreneur. So, years where a personal vision come into play. So it serves as a compass for an entrepreneur's decision. Okay, it incorporates not only your personal professional goals, but also your lifestyle priorities and financial needs. Okay, so it helps remind you that your business is a part of a bigger life plan. It helps you examine and adjust your business idea to meet your personal, financial, and professional goals. So you need to determine what is critical for you in your personal and professional entrepreneurial life, as well as what kind of venture you want to pursue and how it will balance within your life. So you should ask yourself this question: am I willing to take the time upfront to determine what matters most to me in terms of my lifestyle? So you should definitely ask this question and answer this question yourself. Now let's see the activity number 2. So activity number 2 is determining your entrepreneurial characteristics. So again, it's an individual activity. Okay. So you read about its background, activity brief, and the instructions. Again, it's an individual activity. There are 2 parts in it, part A and part B. So whatever is closely related to your lifestyle or characteristics, whatever your answer matches the most, you should give it out. There are no marks for these activities, for week 0 activities. Okay, so y'all should be having no attachment of marks key. No one will be judging you in these things, but you should really try it out. Okay, you should try to answer these questions about entrepreneurial characteristics. There are around 10 points, so you can easily answer them. Fine. So this is about week 0 activity number 2, your entrepreneurial characteristics. So all these handouts I will be uploading it in the after today's lecture. So let's continue with our presentation. So third is your lifestyle goals. Activity number 3 will be about your lifestyle goals. So what's to talk about before you start? So there is a video which is discussing entrepreneurs should have with their discussions your entrepreneurs should have with their family members, including your family involvement, financial criteria, risk, and you have entrepreneurial exit plan. So let's talk about before what you start.
Ideally, the entrepreneurial couple will sit down and have a conversation about the risks and opportunities of a startup before the actual launch. This doesn't always happen, doesn't usually happen, but it is ideal for the couple to do that. Some of these issues will inevitably arise, and it's helpful to become more conscious of them and identify potential solutions before they're actually at your doorstep. There are 3 principal areas that I think families would do well to examine before they launch into a startup. And I would divide them into personal issues, financial consequences, and endgame discussion about where this is all going. In terms of personal issues, I think it's very legitimate to discuss how will the family's life change. Should the spouse, for example, consider trying to bring in more income as a result of losing potentially one income during the startup years? Will the spouse be more responsible for taking care of the home, taking care of kids? And if so, how can the entrepreneur help to offset some of that increased responsibility? It's also helpful to discuss whether the entrepreneur expects the spouse to be involved in the business. And if so, what's that going to look like? It's important to define what that role actually is, because a lot of times spouses start working for a company, they just kind of slide into it, and they find themselves doing things that they may not actually be interested in or well suited to doing, but they just want to help out in the business. And they don't necessarily have any role or official responsibilities, but they just wind up taking up a lot of the slack. And I think that can breed resentment down the line. When I moved up to Stonyfield Farm to live with Gary, I got sucked into working in the business. It was kind of all hands on deck, as it often is in a startup. And I wound up doing sales and making yogurt, actually. I learned how to be a yogurt maker, which was a very stressful job. I didn't enjoy either job, and yet I felt compelled to help out, as spouses often do. And it didn't work out. In the end, I left the company after a couple of years by mutual agreement with my husband that this was not good for our relationship, to be working under him, especially doing things that I really didn't enjoy doing. But that said, I've interviewed many couples who do work together and can't even imagine building their life's dream with anyone other than their spouse. And I really tip my hat to those people, because I think that it requires certain ability to compartmentalize, because things are very different in a personal relationship than they are in a work relationship. And you have to be able to disentangle the two.
Okay, so you can continue watching this video. I'll provide you the link in the PPT. So yeah, so it's about the financial consequences you have to discuss with your family. But well, because if you decided to become an entrepreneur and work on your startup idea, you have to your life will change, your family's life will change around. You will become more financial independent, but initially you might require some finance from, you can require some help from them. So who is ready to help you? I mean, your family, first of all. If you pitch your idea in front of your investor, the first question they will ask you is, who has funded you first? If your family is not ready to fund you, if your relatives are not ready to fund you, then why the investors should fund you? Okay, so that's what the idea behind this is. And you should be ready with these things. You should be ready to accept that there will be some sacrifice on the part of time spending with your loved ones or your family members, some commitments, and some dedication every day which you will be devoting. So life of an entrepreneur is full of challenges, and it starts by discussing your views with your family members. Now, let's talk about determining your professional goals. Okay, let us see briefly about activity number 3. So week 0 activity number 3 is about your lifestyle goals. So you can read about its background, activity brief. Again, it's an individual activity. Okay, so you can read about it. There is plenty of points written over here, and you should ask these questions yourself and you should write them down. Again, no one is judging you all. There are no marks involved in it. It's just a way of looking at yourself, right, and asking yourself whether you are ready to commit on these things or no. Okay, so yeah, so these are the questions, your lifestyle goals. So do take it for fun. It's really fun to understand and understand yourself. You don't have to submit these week 0 activities rather than matter. If you wish to, I will open the link. You can submit these activities. No, I'll keep it open for everyone, but do consider them and do have a look at them, because we have prepared it in a way that if you are really driven and passionate about up and of your own for your own venture out, then these activities will help you out a lot. Now, let's proceed forward in the presentation. Yeah. So determining your professional goals. So now you take some time to think about your professional goals. Identify your professional and financial needs and desires where to your business. Okay. Um, Keep in mind that whereas your personal vision incorporates your family and friends, your professional goals are more heavily weighted to what you want to get out of entrepreneurship. Okay, so keep that in mind. So let's talk about activity number 4. Activity number 4 is about professional goals. Okay, your personal vision statement. How do you create a business that you love? One that keeps your professional, personal, and financial goals in mind. So for starters, take some time to create your own personal vision statement. So your vision statement will help you articulate your goals and stay on track for success. Okay, because you're very over ambitious, correct? At the start, you're very optimistic. You think anything is possible, but that should align with your personal goals. Okay, it doesn't state that how will you achieve them. Okay, a personal visual statement will just articulate your goals. It will doesn't state how will you achieve them. So let's see about this activity, activity number 4. So activity number 4 is about your personal goal, professional goals actually. So you can check out its background, its activity brief, some of the instructions and some of the points which are written. So here there are some questions which are fired towards you all. So you all have to answer them, tackle them, and give the very possible the answer which comes from your heart. Okay, which really matters to you. So these are these are explicitly written so that you talk about your job security, future professional goals, everything, whatever before you begin with the journey for your startup. So it talks about your future personal income. You have to, once you decide to become an entrepreneur and starting of your venture, you have to be very, very sure about it. So these professional goals, these activity, week 0 activity will be, helping you out in deciding that part. So let's move on to the presentation part. Yeah. So activity number 5 is about your personal visual statement. So you have to start accessing your ideas before jumping into a new venture. Take time to decide whether it fits with your personal and your professional goals. Okay. So yeah, so that's what you have to do. So does it work for me? You know, does it work? I mean, does this idea or whatever idea I have for the service or for the product, does it work for me? Okay, so using this following criteria to assess whether, we will use this following criteria to assess whether your business will be a good fit for you. So the first point is a personal fit. Think through how your particular business choices fit your personal goals. So you can ask yourself, does this idea fit my personal vision? Then next comes is talent and skills. Look at the match between your talent and skills and those required by the business idea. This will help you to decide how easy it will be for you to start your business. A new venture requires a significant amount of learning. The timeline for starting it will be a longer and the possibility of mistakes greater. So you should overcome personal gaps in skills or knowledge by putting together a team to help you launch the business. So you should ask yourself this question: do I have the talent and skill to implement this idea, or the ability to put together a team that can? Next comes is risk and rewards. There are always some risk involved in all entrepreneurial ventures, and the risk vary depending upon the type of business you wish to start. As an entrepreneur, you have to assess and accept the risk involved and compare the risk against the rewards you expect to receive. Then only you will thrive forward. You should ask yourself in this regard, are the risks associated with this type of venture acceptable to me? Are the rewards, that is personal growth, satisfaction, self-expression, financial freedom or recognition, adequate to offset the risk associated with this venture? Then when to change course? Okay, if you have already thought about an idea, if you think that no, this is not matching with my personal, professional, or my financial goals, then it's time to change course. So spending time planning and researching a business idea can save a great deal of money and time later, because you don't want to start up with and proceed with an idea which will later on you yourself will abandon it. Okay, so spend quality time initially planning and researching on your business idea. That can really save you a deal of time and money. Then, rather than pursue a risky idea, you may choose to consider several options, including identifying and researching a new business idea, getting more education and training, which that means accustoming yourself with more better skills or building up a team which can provide them, improving your personal financial situations for funding your business, getting a job in the industry to learn more about it before diving into a new idea. You can get experience getting a job in the industry, which you are passionate about, and then you can come back to your startup idea and you can carry on with it. Then when to change course, another will be, most organizations want people with entrepreneurial skills. Let's say if you have decided, you have worked on your idea for a few months and you have decided, no, it's not up of my tea. I cannot proceed with it. So no problem. In the process of learning, in the very 3 months which you have spent with your idea, with building up your team, talking to people, you have learned a lot, right? So you have already have acquired those entrepreneurial skills. Already very clear that no, this will not work for me. Fine. So most organizations want people with entrepreneurial skills who can analyze and evaluate business opportunity. Maybe right now your idea might not work for you. After 3 months, you have decided that maybe you will be useful to some organization which will have similar belief of entrepreneurial skill. Then going through the business planning process itself will provide you with a valuable skill. As I told you again, while learning, going through this journey will make you, make you acquire those entrepreneurial skill. You will never realize, but after those 3 months, and you will decide, okay, fine, I want to pursue something else. I don't want to pursue startup, idea. I decided to go for a job. It's okay to do that, right? And if your idea works out for you, very good. You be very passionate, work passionately towards it, and you will be working day in and day out very hard. Okay, so maybe in this process, maybe after 3 months of time or 6 months of time, you will maybe even find another business idea which will work for you. Okay, so these skills, the process involved in this planning process of your entrepreneurial journey will be very useful to you, and it will be useful to you time and time again. Then let's look back at what we have discussed so far. So we have taken an important step in turning your business idea into a business opportunity. So along the way, you thought about your entrepreneurial lifestyle and characteristics. This slide will be valid once you complete all the activities of week 0. So you figured out what your professional, personal, and financial goals are. You wrote a personal vision statement to help you make sure that your to keep your personal vision in mind when making decisions for your business, and you have assessed whether your business falls in line with your personal vision. Okay, so these are some of the acknowledgements and references. Yeah, so that's about